stretch of the Oaks, and here comes Search Results. Search Results has taken the lead as they arrive at the 8th pole. Malathaat runs at her from the outside. Back into third is Travel Column toward the rail. Will Secret is trying to mount a charge. Then comes Clariere to the outside. Malathaat, Search Results, undefeated fillies. 1-2 down to the wire. Who's going to win it? It's Malathaat by a neck. Search Results was...
Welcome back to Racing Rundown. On this video, we're going to be previewing the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks from Saratoga this upcoming Saturday. We only have 4 horses entered in this race. However, this race is towered over by the imposing Kentucky Oaks winner Malathaat filly, who, if you watch Racing Rundown at all before, you know how highly we think of Malathaat here on Racing Rundown. We love Malathaat. This is a show that loves Malathaat, and we are proud of it. So you can definitely assume where we're going to go with this race. I'm not going to rehash everything that I've said about Malathaat already and everything that Eric has said about Malathaat for the last 3, 4, even going back to 7 months to the Demoiselle. If you want to hear what we have to say about Malathaat, go back and give a listen to the various episodes in which we featured Malathaat and talked about the immense amount of talent that she has. People are going to knock her because her figures aren't that great. She hasn't really won by the largest margins in the world. I've seen a lot of discussions about that on social media. I think that's absolutely hogwash. Malathaat has been so impressive, maybe not visually, maybe not figures-wise, but you just watch the race as a whole. Malathaat has impressed in every single start. She's had trouble in her last 3 starts, and she's overcame it and won. I saw some people knocking her because she hasn't won by a lot. She has had problems in each of her 3 races that she's been able to overcome. She should not lose this race, and in my opinion, she will not lose this race. She's my pick, and I had to think about this for all of 3 seconds. Now we're going to move on to the number 2 horse, Maracuja. She's an okay horse in her own right. She would be a decent long shot in a race that wasn't towered over by a horse like Malathaat. She ran a good effort in the Gazelle behind Search Results, who I think is the second best 3-year-old filly in the country. However, she did run in the Kentucky Oaks, and she was very much well beaten by Malathaat on the day. And, you know, realistically, there's nothing in the form that says she's going to jump up and beat Malathaat in here. So I'm taking a pass on Maracuja, obviously for multiple reasons. And now we'll move on to the number 3 horse for Rudolph Brissett. Rock, Paper, Scissors, a horse who I think is actually pretty interesting, even though she is going to be very overmatched in here. She's coming out of a very impressive victory at Indiana Grand at the Allowance Company, and that was also off a pretty big layoff. So she won by 9 3/4 lengths off of a very sizable layoff. She didn't run between September of 2020 and June of 2021. So I think that that is definitely something that you have to give her credit for. I feel like this is a horse that if you're looking for some kind of price in here, and if you absolutely must be Malathaat, don't completely overlook this filly. Again, though, I will say, it was at Indiana Grand. She is stepping up majorly in class to graded stakes caliber fillies, but I do think she is not without chance. So I would give her a slight consideration. If there were more horses in here and you could use her for an underneath wager, I would definitely say go for that, but there's only 4 horses, so there's not really going to be too much money to be made. And the final horse is Clariere, the horse that most people, if you are going to try to beat Malathaat, you're going to try to beat her with Clariere. Clariere is a very good horse in her own right. She had a nice rivalry in the late fall and winter with Travel Calm. They ran up against each other 3 times in graded stakes races. Travel Calm won 2 of them. Clariere won 1 of them. She is a graded stakes winner. She won the Rachel Alexandra. However, she was defeated by Travel Calm in both the Goldenrod and the Fairgrounds Oaks, and she ran better than her rival did in the Kentucky Oaks. Clariere did, but Travel Calm has not really impressed as of late. So, you know, you might detract a little bit from her, but even still, I think Clariere is a horse that I've been very positive on. I picked her when she ran in the Mother Goose last time. That was going a mile and a 16th. I always said she was going to be a filly that is going to really like getting out to longer distances. She ran really well in the Kentucky Oaks, all things considered. Only a nose away from being 3rd in the race, and she was only beaten 3 combined lengths by Malathaat in Search Results. I think she's a future play, though, in here because she was beaten by Malathaat and really didn't have any excuses in there. Malathaat certainly had some issues, but at the end of the day, Malathaat was just a better horse. Like I said already, I think she's a future play. I think she could run a big race in the Alabama. I've kind of mentioned that several times on Racing Rundown, that I'm really looking forward to seeing her get out to 1.25 miles when and if she runs in the Alabama, which I hope is going to be the next spot after this race. However, nobody's beating Malathaat. If you watch Racing Rundown, like I already said, you know where we're going in this race. Both myself and Eric are all in on Malathaat. and there's really no reason to not be all in on her. Like I mentioned, people are going to criticize her figures, going to criticize the way that she's won her races. In my opinion, that's all arbitrary and a bunch of hogwash. Malathaat is the best 3-year-old filly in the country, and I personally don't think it's close. Some people might disagree with me, but that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens this weekend, but I expect to see the typical Malathaat brilliance, and even if she only wins by a few lengths, it is still going to be a very nice effort for her. So if you do play this race, good luck. If you are a person who doesn't like to bet favorites, probably sit this race out, save your money for other races that are going to be more valuable this weekend in terms of having prices in them. But all that said, enjoy the race because Malathaat is a special, special filly. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
We go. Clariere in the gold cap, a 2-wide bid. It's Travel Column who led past the quarter pole. 3/4, 1 minute 14.22 seconds. It's the Frosted filly. Travel Column, 1 furlong to go. Clariere trying to reel Travel Column in. Then Becca's Rocket, Little Stitches, and Moon Swag past the 16th. Here's Clariere right alongside Travel Column. It's Clariere for Joe Telemo. Clariere.